This series of videos is done to show you how to exercise your core without bending your lumbar spine and excessively loading your back. So it's a safe way to work your core. They're all done in a standing position. Great exercises that are fun and easy to do, and they're done with machines that are often underutilized at the gym, so they may be easier to access. This exercise is used with cable weights, and you're just going to face away from the cable weights and close toward your belly button, and we call it a rock crusher. Great exercise to work the rectus abdominis, and it gets the transverse and the obliques. So it's done like this. She's pushing toward her belly button and then coming out wide. This gets a great contraction in the mid-abdominal area here, nice and tight. But it also works your chest and the arms. Good. And I'll show you what happens when you do single arm rock crushers, because when that happens, you're going to work the opposite abdominal muscle quite a bit harder, and it helps to work the internal oblique muscles. So here's how it's done. Make sure to avoid twisting on the lumbar spine. And maintain a straight posture. You can flex the knees just a little bit there and help give you a little bit more stability, and pull the weight toward the belly button, and it works this area right in here. It does a great job getting those core muscles nice and tight. This exercise is pretty much done the same way, except you're going to turn around facing the weight machine this time, and you're going to pull with both arms. It's great for getting the internal and external oblique abdominals, but it gets the abdominals as it wraps around the back of the lumbar spine. It does a great job of tightening up the core from the sides of the waist. So here's how it's done. This is working these abdominals right here. Believe it or not, these are still abdominal muscles. It gets the external obliques right in here. And she's also tightening quite a bit in the front of her core there. This exercise is called a chop. It's a fun exercise to do because it involves a lot of motion, and you use a cable weight machine, just like this one here, but you can use any cable weight machine in the gym. Just make sure to adjust it up high so that it's on the highest setting. These are all adjustable, so push it up there, and then you get yourself into a forward-facing position, chest up, chin up, drop your knees just a little bit, get the weight in position. You're going to keep your shoulders facing straight ahead, and go into a squat and chop the wood. You're just chopping wood, squatting and chopping. Make sure to balance on your heels and go deep into a squat. Squatting makes it a full body exercise. It also works the abdominal muscles pretty hard on this exercise too. So it's a great ab exercise. It works your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, but mostly it gets you right in here. It's also a good shoulder exercise, and it works the pectoral muscles. This is called a lawnmower pull. And for this one, you're going to have your cable weight set down low. So you pull the pin out, drop the cable weight down to the bottom. Now you're going to take the handle and you're going to act as if you're starting a lawnmower. So chest up, chin up. You're just going to pull to just below shoulder height, keeping the shoulders facing straight ahead. Again, chest up, chin up, bend the knees, and you're going to go into a squat, and then lawnmower pull. I don't know what they call this machine. I think it's called a hip extension. It's a pretty cool machine, and you never see anyone using it. And I found that this is a great back exercise. It turns out it really works your lumbar spine like nobody's business. There's a little trickiness to it. It has an adjustable platform. This thing can be set up and down according to your height. And then this thing here can be set at different positions, and you have to set it for both right and left side. So that can be adjusted. And the way this thing works is you get on here and hook your thigh over here. And I think they thought this was going to be a good butt exercise machine. can see her, she's really contracting her multifidus and the extensor muscles in her lower back. The quadratus lumborum, the multifidus muscles are really working hard here. And it's working the ipsilateral side, meaning the same side, but it also gets a little support on the other side. So it's a great exercise. The glute exercise, to be sure, it's a good hip extensor, but definitely your lumbar spine is working really hard. So lumbar spine is part of your core group. It is the back of your core, so you got to work this area. It's also working the abdominal muscles. These abs are really tight right here. This is the transverse. You want to get that transverse ab because that's where you get rid of the love handles. This is another one of those machines at the gym that you never see anyone using. I think because it kind of looks complicated and nobody knows quite what it is, but it's a great glute machine. And if you're a runner, this is a really good exercise for your glutes, and that's what the machine is touted for. But there's a little hidden secret to this machine. It also works your lumbar spine in a really significant way. It gets into the deep rotators and extensors of the lumbar spine, which is part of your posterior core group, and it works those lumbar muscles and strengthens them. And we found that in some cases it can really ameliorate lower back pain. So if people are having lower back problems from weak muscles, this machine will do the trick for you. I'm just going to push straight back, full range of motion, full hip extension. And while we're doing this, notice that the lower back muscles are really contracting here. Doing a great lumbar spine contraction, working those glutes. You're working the hamstring muscles to a certain extent. So it's a good workout. If you're a runner, this will really help you. And the nice thing about working your lower back in this way, you're not bending your spine while you're doing the workout. And this is important because people who have back problems want to do isometric back exercises. That means she's working her back without actually moving the joints. So she's getting stronger without going through a big range of motion. Now we're switched over to the opposite leg and working the opposite muscles, getting those lumbar extensors and rotators, lumbar spine stabilizers. When you're first starting out at the gym, make sure to use the lightest setting on the weights. Just go to a very light weight. Give it a try just to get the range of motion, see how it feels. And you can tighten up the weights as you go. You can do 3 sets of 8 or 10, adding a little bit of weight each time. You don't ever want to exercise to a point of total failure. That's not going to help you. You're going to wind up getting injured. So let's use lighter weights, but more repetitions with good form. You want to always keep your chest up and your chin up and stabilize your body in a way that gives you the maximum performance. You don't need to put a huge amount of weight on. If you want to build a bunch of muscle and do that, you can do it later as you get more accustomed to your weights. After a few weeks at the gym, you'll know which weight to select, and you'll just naturally go to the right pen and put it in the right hole and get to work. But initially, start out very slow because you're going to get sore if you haven't been doing this before. So, and then build up a little bit, little bit, little bit.